Howdy gamers, old gamer guy here. Well, it finally happened. Dayz is on PS4. This game has been on PC for at least 6 years, maybe longer. It's been on Xbox for a little less than a year, I think. I'm not really sure. But it's finally on PS4. It's a zombie game, which I have a hard time resisting. And so I picked it up and I got to play for about an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. And so I decided to make a video showing some of that footage and talking about my early impressions of the game. I guess I should say right away that this is on a PS4 Pro. I don't know how it runs on a regular PS4, but you'll notice some frame rate issues and some texture pop in on PS4 Pro. But mostly I've been pleasantly surprised with how this runs because it kind of has a reputation for not running well. So far so good. If you don't know what Dayz is, it's a open world online multiplayer zombie survival game. The map is quite large. It's an island and you spawn on the coast in a random place as a random character. And you have to monitor your thirst and your hunger and your temperature and things like that. And so you scavenge and you craft and you try to survive. There are zombies. There can be up to 60 players on a server. You can play on a first-person only server. This one is obviously third person. When you run into other players, they might be playing solo like I am. They might be playing in a group. They might rob you, take all your stuff. They might kill you and take all your stuff. They might tie you up and force you to eat human meat. And no, I'm not joking. I chose to play on a server that had a low population for my first experience in the world because I wanted to get the hang of the controls. And I'm pretty glad I did because my first critique of the game is that the controls are a bit awkward. You can see I'm having trouble getting over this fence. I guess that's input lag. I don't know if that's the game. I don't know if it's my connection. But I did notice that I had to press the jump button, about a second before he would actually do it. And that extends over to the melee combat as well, which is not a great thing. But just in general, I think the controls are kind of awkward, especially the inventory system. But I will get more on the inventory system here in a few minutes because first we're going to have some combat. This is my first zombie that I decided to confront. You can see I found a hatchet. And so the zombie clearly wants a piece of me. You can probably tell that I'm swinging a little bit late because I'm not used to the input lag thing just yet. And the combat, I'll keep using this word, but the combat's kind of awkward. The melee combat anyway. I like this game. Let me go ahead and get that out of the way. But it is rough around the edges. And you'll see more of that in a few minutes. Right here, what you see me doing is I'm creeping along. They're hard to see, but there are two zombies fairly close in front of me. And I'm trying to avoid combat. Because I had such an awkward time with the first zombie. So I'm just sneaking along. But you're about to see an illustration of just how complex the controls in this game can be. So I'm looking down the street here and I can see that there's another zombie or two down there. And I know there's a way to zoom in because I've seen some people stream this game on Xbox, but I don't know how to do it. So I go into the tutorials part of the menu there, and this is what they consider a tutorial here. This is the extent of it. You basically get these 6 screens, and they give you some basic information. This is not what I was looking for, though, so I backed out of this, and I went into the controls, and now you can see just how many different things can be assigned to just one button. And this is only the movement control chart. So as you can imagine, this is not an intuitive game. Obviously, you can learn this stuff and you can get used to it, but right at first, man, I could not figure out how to do much of anything, as you will see in a few minutes. But look at this. I did figure out how to zoom in. Check out the big brain on Old Gamer Guy. He figured out how to zoom in. We're saved. So far, I know I'm sort of complaining. And again, I want to reiterate, I do like this game. It is rough around the edges, but I do like it. I'm a big fan of zombie games, and I do think this is a good zombie game, despite the rough edges. But one thing I really like about this is the length of the day and night cycle. Now, obviously, open world games having a day and night cycle is nothing new. But usually I find it takes about an hour to get through a full day and a full night. At this point, I've been playing for a bit. It was obviously bright when I started off. Now it's sunset, but it's been a good while. I don't know how long a day and night cycle lasts. I still don't know, even after playing for, like I said, about an hour and 15 minutes. But it's been my experience, in my opinion anyway, that most of the time when it gets to be nighttime in a open world game, it is not nearly dark enough. I like it when they force me to use a flashlight or a torch or a lantern, or in this case, a road flare. So you're going to see here the inventory system, and I'm trying to figure out how to do what should be the simple task of equipping the road flare and igniting the flare. And I am confused. It takes me a little bit to figure it out. I do finally figure it out. You can see there are a lot of different inventory slots. You know, there's like separate slots in my jeans. I've got a backpack on at this point. I've got a hoodie that has its own slots. It's hard to manage all this, and it's hard to switch back and forth between weapons. I find, or maybe I'm just not used to it yet, but it seems really unnecessarily awkward. I figured out how to put my rifle and the hatchet into like quick equip slots, but I still can't figure out how to quickly equip them. But I finally have the road flare equipped. And I finally noticed that it says to press R2 to turn it on. And I finally get it done. It seems to me that even when games sort of have dated graphics, that some good lighting can make a big difference. And I think that's the case in this game. Here I'm sitting here eating some tuna fish. I had to put down the flare to actually do this. And now I'll pick it back up and we'll head on into the forest up this hill. And I figured out that running makes your thirst meter go down faster. So I'm walking here and I found this trail. It looks like a trail anyway, so I decided to follow it. And I got a nice creepy Blair Witch kind of a vibe out of this forest. I thought it was pretty cool and atmospheric. I've watched some streams of this game, so I know you can see players from quite a ways away if you are looking through a scope or whatever. And so I was kind of creeping myself out, thinking about another player stalking me through the woods and trying to decide whether or not they wanted to attack me. They can see that I have a gun, but they don't know if it's loaded or not. I've got several different types of ammo, but if I have the correct ammo for this gun, I don't know how to load it, so it's not loaded. But I found this railroad track and decided to follow it. But you're about to see again just how dark this game will get, because my flare is about to go out. And that's another cool thing. I liked about this game so far is that this flare lasted about 20 minutes of real time before it went out. But there it goes, and look how dark it is. That's crazy, and I like it. So for this next little bit, I have a filter turned on that I enabled in SHAREfactory when I was making the video. I edited out some time of me just walking down the railroad track in the dark. And I'm crouched here, but you can kind of see that I'm limping a bit. And it's because I'm becoming dehydrated and my health is actually dropping at this point. I found this house and I'm hoping to find something inside, but I'm in bad shape. Can't find the door. Again, I have a filter on to make it brighter, so it's much darker for me in the game, so I had a hard time finding the door. And I finally got inside, but I was not lucky because there was no food or drink in here. When you start off, or at least when I spawned into the game, I had an apple and I had a soda. I used those. At some point, I found that tuna fish, and I think I found another soda, and I used both of those. So now I have nothing, and I'm dehydrated, and I'm in pain apparently. And now you can see a little better that I'm kind of staggering around a bit. Still searching. I found some matches over here, but if it's possible to make a torch, I don't know how to do it. And I couldn't just light a match to make some light, so that didn't do me any good. And so a short while later, I know I'm done for. I stagger outside. I look at the night sky. I curse God. And then I die of dehydration. Such a sad ending to a sad and short life. But look at that. Restart in large lettering. And if I select that, I get a respawn timer, and I'll respawn on the coast again as another character, a random character. I won't have all my stuff. If I had a map and I knew where my body was, I think I could go loot my body, but I have no idea where it was. No idea where I am now. But at the very least, I have figured out how to equip a road flare and ignite it fairly quickly. So there has been some small amount of progress. You can see I'm a different character now. And now I'm ready to begin scavenging again. No idea where I am, but there looks like there's some stuff over here. So I go to check it out. I think I mentioned that I purposely joined a low population server so I wouldn't run into another player, but I'm about to run into another player. I thought that light down there, at the time I thought it was a glitch, but I think it was probably the player with a flare, because I heard a zombie. I came back out into the street. What is that? It's a player with a flare running from two zombies. What do? The hero that I am, I run away. Maybe if the person had gotten on their microphone and asked for help, I would have tried to intervene, but I took off. I didn't have a weapon. They clearly didn't have a weapon, so I ran away, but unfortunately I could hear the zombies still behind me. So I turned around and discovered that the player was following me. Now, I could have turned and run away again because they stopped to finally fight, but I did the right thing. It was too little too late, but I tried to do the right thing. I tried to save them. The zombies took a while to notice me. I imagine that's lag of some kind. But finally, they noticed that I was pummeling them with a flare, and they took exception. One of them went down. The other one took a little longer. But finally, she went out. And you can see I'm already hurt. My health is down about halfway. I'm already limping. This person, all they had was the flare, so there's not really much to loot. Sorry, fool. Well, I guess this is as good a spot as any to end this video. So just in summary, I like this game a lot. It's atmospheric. It's cool. I think it's a lot of fun. Definitely rough around the edges with some awkward controls that will take some time to get used to. But I like it. I'm sure I'll make more videos before long, but for now, that's it. Thanks for watching.